Dream Team, it's your favorite duo, Darian and
Mackenzie.
Back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with What's the Dumbest Thing an American Has Ever Said to You, Part 6. Here we go right back into it. We're going to go ahead and apologize beforehand on what some of these Americans say. Don't put us all in one group. Once again, I say that.
We are not that dumb.
Exactly. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got?
I'm kind of curious. What is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
I was in an Uber. He told me that, what are the last two letters of COVID? ID. There's microchips in the vaccine, and there's your proof. He continued to say, COVID-19, first letter of the alphabet is A, ninth letter is I, AI. They're turning us into robots. He also said that the vaccine is full of dead babies, aborted babies, and he doesn't want to be injected with a black girl baby. And then he ended it with telling me the pandemic's not real, and started taking his mask off, and I told him, drop me off immediately. He accused me of not being able to handle the truth.
Nah, something wrong with that man, bro.
There's something wrong with that, man. I mean, did I get the COVID vaccine? No, I didn't.
Me neither.
I didn't trust it. But not because I thought it had aborted babies and microchips and...
they said they got aborted babies in the vaccine,
that makes
bro.
no sense.
I don't want to be... What did he say I don't want to be stuck with a black girl baby.
That made no sense. No sense.
Yeah. I didn't get the vaccine just because I'm immune to a lot of sicknesses, so I was like, I'm going to take my chances.
Yeah. And I think, too, there was a lot of people dying after they got it.
Yeah.
And then, I was just,
Yeah.
I didn't trust it.
I think I just trusted my immune system. I trusted it to fight off whatever came my way.
Yep. And I haven't got it to this day. So.
Same. If I did have it, I just didn't know about it. And from what I see from people, it's like if you had it, you would have known about it.
Yeah.
But let's keep it rolling.
In middle school, 7th grade, 6th grade maybe, and a student peer of mine said, aren't Jewish people extinct? Me, a Jew.
I saw another video that had the same answer as this, but it happened to me, so I'm going to let you know. I am from Jamaica. I got here in 2018, early 2019. And I worked at Trader Joe's, so I'd interact with a lot of white people. A lot of people were always like, oh my God, how's your English so good? And I'd have to explain to them that we speak English in Jamaica. But I forgave them because it is Latin America and they probably think we all speak Spanish. But I remember one time this old lady that was always friendly with me, always used to cash out at my register. One day she said to me how we got around in Jamaica, and I was genuinely confused. Like, what do you mean, how do we get around? She's like, if we use cows and donkeys.
In Jamaica?
And I was like, no, we drive cars. And she goes, there are roads there? And I go, yeah, paved streets. And she goes, oh my God.
So first off,
Again, not all of us are that dumb.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say anymore, guys. We just gonna keep the video going because I don't know what to say no more, man.
I say I'm Native American of the UMA. But we all know who you mean by American. So a while back, a few months ago, this American asks me, why do me and my son have long hair, right? Since we're boys or whatever, and I was like, we're Native American, or of the Yomi tribe, and he goes, no. I was like, excuse me. He goes, Native Americans are extinct because them. I'm like,
my God.
Are you serious? And I noticed he had a bag from the Desert Diamond Casino, and I go, who do you think runs the casinos? And he kind of looks at me with a blank expression. I'm like, we're not all dead. dumbass. Oh, excuse me. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
So I'm American.
Why do they think people going extinct out here?
I swear. What do you mean?
I knew Jews wasn't extinct. I knew Native Americans wasn't extinct. What be wrong with these people, bro?
I don't understand people. I just really don't.
Such idiocracy. And the fact that he told you he was Native American and you told him no you're not. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And I live in London. My boyfriend is English. And the first time I took my boyfriend back to America to see where my family lives, after years of being together and months of planning this trip, we landed at the Louisville International Airport, and my boyfriend looks up and sees Louisville and looks at me and asks, when do we get to go to Kentucky?
Well, at least we not the dumb ones this time.
I swear.
Don't make fun of us all the time for not knowing where your towns and cities are. That's hypocritical.
So I studied this African.
Why did she say hypocritical, but the word said hypothetical on the screen?
That's hypocritical.
So I studied with this African American guy in Beijing, and he was like talking about how he wants to visit Africa and stuff, but it's too dangerous. I was like, not everywhere in Africa is dangerous. Zambia is actually very safe. And he's like, nope. The last time I checked, you guys are always burning each other, always have wars and kill each other. I'm like, what is this nigga talking about? Like, literally. Hold on, check this out. What you see right here is the Global Peace Index for 2020, and Iceland, New Zealand are obviously up there. And then we have Zambia over here coming at number 44, if you can see that. And then we've got the mighty United States of America coming at
dang
121. I mean, it's just not logical. We've never had war since the British, my nigga. Since the British.
So what do I, my nigga? We never had war since the British. I love her accent, bro. Yeah, I feel like I honestly didn't really know much. I don't know much about Africa. Like when I start watching videos and learn all these rich cities and rich countries in Africa, bro, I was a little surprised because we never really learned much about Africa.
Yeah.
I feel like my only time I see Africa in the media was when they were showing them commercials. Feed this child for 30 cents a day.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That's the only time I was ever exposed to anything Africa related growing up. I swear to you.
That's so sad.
It is definitely sad. I swear it's sad. And to watch these videos and know they got all of these rich countries and amazing countries inside of the continent of Africa. I would have never known.
I think it's everywhere there. I mean, you have your rich parts of areas. You have your poor parts. You have your safe parts, your unsafe parts.
Completely agree.
Just assume that a whole entire country and area don't have what everybody else has is just weird.
It's wild. It's wild.
We're about to be in 2024. Why would not everybody be close up to speed?
I agree with you. Oz agrees with you.
A family vacation in Disneyland. Some guy hears us talking and says, "Hey, are you guys from Canada?" My dad goes, "Yeah, we're from Canada." And the guy's like, "Oh, okay." We can see he's clearly wants to ask something. And eventually he gets up the courage and he's like, "So, what's it like down here?" And my dad's like, "Oh, we like Disneyland. Yeah, it's cool." The guy goes, No, but what's it like driving?"
What?
So my dad asks, "Well, what do you mean?" And the guy goes, "So do you get cars at the border, or how does that work?" So me, being the eternal jackass of my family, interject. I say, "Yeah, they got a little training spot at the border, and you trade in your sled dogs, and they look after them. There's a fee or whatever." But yeah, we get to drive and try it out. They even let me drive. I was maybe 10 at the time. Then, no word of a lie, as my dad is expecting this random stranger to lose his mind, the stranger goes, "Wow, that Canadian education system is really great."
Okay, so I studied abroad in America in 2014. Yes, I'm that old.
And I got talking to a guy in a bar, and he asked me that age-old question if I ride kangaroos to school. And I was like, no, obviously I don't ride kangaroos to school. I ride emus. Kangaroos are so old school. Anyway, he ate that up. And then he asked me how long I'd been living in America for, and I said, about 2 months at this point. And he's like, wow, your English is amazing for someone who hasn't been here that long.
Oh my God.
To which I had to laugh and say, we speak English in Australia. And he wasn't even ashamed. He was like, oh wow, really? You learn something new every day.
He said you learn something new every day.
Every day.
He said we don't ride kangaroos no more. They're out of style. We ride emu style. Oh my days.
I lived in Florida for about a year as an exchange student from Colombia, and somebody asked me what language I spoke, and before I said anything, he said, what, Mexican? That's not even a...
Okay, so I was born in Venezuela.
What, Mexican?
Why ask the question if you were just going to assume what he spoke?
I swear.
What Mexican? That's not a language.
No, it's not.
Spanish.
Mexican.
Oh my days.
He said, what, Mexican? That's not even...
Okay, so I was born in Venezuela, but I grew up in the US, and my parents and we've gotten asked if we have cars, elevators, traffic lights, fast food restaurants, sidewalks, houses and apartments in Venezuela. Yes, we do. Why wouldn't we have those things? I don't understand, but okay. My dad told me this funny story of how in the 70s my uncle dated this American girl, and they lived together in an apartment in Chicago. And apparently she thought that in Venezuela people didn't have kitchens. And so when my dad and grandpa went to go visit them, she was like, come here. You see this? This is a fridge. And she started doing that to everything in the kitchen, and they were like, okay, we know. And so months later she went to go visit them in Venezuela and realized that people do have kitchens, and you could tell that she was so embarrassed and she felt stupid. And my grandpa was like, come here. And he reenacted everything that she did when they went to go visit her. And so
this is...
I wish I could have seen that moment, bro.
I'd have been embarrassed.
She felt so sick, bro. I love the fact that the grandpa, come here.
Come here.
That's perfect.
Quite possibly the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I will tell this story any chance I get. So we're in Costa Rica, and we're playing volleyball with a big group of Europeans. All of a sudden, one of them scores, and he goes, Kobe Bryant!
So the story still continues because we just had...
Kobe Bryant was a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you score? Did he say volleyball?
I think so.
Kobe Bryant. I like the way they said it. Kobe Bryant.
So the story still continues because we just had a day full of really dumb comments, and it was my friend's birthday, and we ended up being at Tao for dinner. And when we were ordering drinks, of course, they were checking our ID. And the first ID that she got was my friend's whose birthday it was, and she just walked off with it. She was like, I need to go get my manager. We were like, oh, that's so strange. And her and the manager come back and we're like, this is a fake ID. And we were like, no, it's not. She was like, there's no 23rd month. And there's no state of Queensland. And we all had to be like, literally everywhere else in the world does it day, month, year. And it's from Australia. So, of course, there's no Queensland in America. We're Australian. And she was like, no. And then the manager had to be like, oh, sorry. Ooh. Oh, I'm a
bro.
And I wonder, why do we do it month, day, year instead of day, month, year?
I don't know. I think it makes sense to do it month, day, year.
I think it makes sense because that's how we've been taught, and that's like
I think it makes sense. Like, it's December. Wait, yeah.
But in everything else, you go like from the smallest to the largest. Like, so it's like day is a smaller amount of time than a month, which is a smaller amount of time than a year. So I feel like if we didn't grow up doing it year, or month, day, year, day, month, year would make more sense.
I just don't think so.
It's the 23rd of December, 2023.
Like I'm born November 19th of 2000. That makes sense instead of saying
19th of November.
Yeah.
That makes that makes sense.
I'd rather just say. I don't know. I think it's just, like you said, I'm just used to it. I don't know. I think that just makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense to me because that's how we've done it. But if I didn't know either one, I'd probably do smallest to biggest in terms of time. So I'd probably do day, month, year. If I didn't know.
It's like even like when you're writing like the date.
Yeah.
That makes sense. The month, the day, the year.
Well, yeah, because that's how we done wrote the date our whole
But I'm
lives.
saying it makes sense.
It does make sense to us. But to the rest
way.
of the world, they're like, why do they do it like that?
So I had to write like 13th of December 2023.
13/12/23.
Yeah, I just don't like that.
Yeah. I don't like it now because I'm so used to doing it our way, so it's like I don't want to switch now. But
I mean, I'm sure like it makes sense to them because that's all they know.
Yeah. Well, we're the only country that writes it that way.
Wow. Well,
we's different. It was really, I blame the UK because they probably did it first and then we caught on and they switched back. So, because that's how a lot of things happened. Or England.
Customer service agent and an American guy had called in. We quickly started talking and I mentioned that I was from Cape Town. He tried to mention a few places in Cape Town that he could remember. So he mentioned Table Mountain and he started talking about the animals that we have, like the lions that roam the earth. And then he quickly said that he can remember that we had a natural disaster called apartheid.
And
first I thought he was talking about the ocean, but then I realized that he thought apartheid was a natural disaster. So I quickly moved the conversation away from that topic and I asked him if I could further assist him on his account. Because, what?
Okay, so I live in America and I'm obviously not American and the list is so long, but by far my absolute favorite, and I get it all the time, is what is the weather like in Australia? The whole country? This one?
I don't think that's a dumb question. Like,
I don't either.
I don't think they're asking about like the whole country, but it's like we probably don't know where you're from in Australia, so it's just like, what's the weather like out there in Australia?
Yeah.
And then you could just say, oh, in this part of Australia it's mostly this, and in this part of Australia it's mostly like that. That didn't seem like a dumb question to me.
No, I don't think so because I mean you could say the same thing about a state. Like, I could ask you, well, what's the weather like in Texas? But like Texas is this big old area, and then there's different. I mean, there could be like somebody hours away from you in Texas, and
facts.
It'd be different, but that's not what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
You know that I mean, where you are.
Yeah, that question I didn't think was weird at all.
No, I think they were just asking like, what's the weather like where she's at?
Yeah, exactly. But now the man who assumed apartheid was a natural disaster, that is awful, bro. That is dumb. That is dumb. But that's all we got for this one. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. We out.